Hello students, in this video we will learn to solve polynomials, particularly quadratic polynomials, by factorizing and we will do that by splitting the middle term. So a quadratic polynomial usually is in this form, that is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. So there are three terms and the degree of this polynomial is 2, hence it is called as a quadratic polynomial. So we will learn to factorize this, that is to get factors of this polynomial by splitting this middle term. And see, when we do multiplication, like for example if we have 8, or even better if we have something like 6, we can get this in two form, that is we can get the multiples of this, that is 2 into 3 will give us 6. So if let's say 6 is the middle term, we split it into two other terms, that is into 2 and 3. So let's take a problem to understand how we can factorize by splitting the middle term. So our first problem is 12x square minus 7x plus 1. Let us factorize this by splitting the middle term. The first thing we need to do is multiply the coefficient of x square and the constant over here. Both need we multiply. So it will be 12 into 1. So first step is to multiply the two. So 12 into 1 and we get 12. Okay. Our next step is to get two terms or two values such that we get minus 7x. Now when the middle term is negative and the last constant term is positive, it tells you that the two terms in between are going to be negative. Okay, only then you will get it minus 7x when they are added together, and when they are multiplied together you should get positive. Like for example, I'll tell you, let us try to get 7x, and but the multiplication should be equal to 12. Like for example, first we'll write or list down whatever numbers or factors that give us 12. So if we factorize 12, this is what we get: 2 6 are 12, 2 3s are 6, and 3 1s are 3. Okay, so it's 2 into 2 into 3, that gives us 12. Now what are the different combinations of, if we mix and match, we'll get 12. First of all, we'll get 1 into 12, that will give us 12. Then we'll get 12 into 1, which gives us 12. You might be wondering, why am I doing 1 into 12 and 12 into 1? Well, what if there is minus 1 and plus 12, or plus 12 and minus 1? Of course, in this case it will not be it will not happen. I'll tell you why. Let's say for example it is the factors, the middle terms that we are searching for are 1 into 12 or 12 into 1, and let's say one of them is actually minus. Let's say we are multiplying minus 1 into plus 12. Then what will be the answer? It will give us minus 12, but look at what we have got. This is positive 12, so we are not getting it. Not only that, if we take minus 1 and add it to plus 12, we get answer as 11. Similarly, if we take minus 12 and do it, this both will come minus 12. Minus 12 plus 1 will give us minus 11. But what is our middle term? It is minus 7x. So we need to keep searching. First, we are not bothered about the signs. We are just trying to find out in all different ways that we can get 12. So 1 into 12 gives us 12. 12 into 1 gives us 12. What are the other ways that we can get 12? So we can get say 2 into 6, 6 into 2, 3 into 4, and 4 into 3. So I don't see any other way that we can get 12 apart from these multiples. Now the difference between the two, or if we add the two, like for example I just showed you, if we take one of them as minus, other one is plus, what we get? We get the last term as minus 12, but we have got it as 12. The product should be positive 12. So for that purpose, it has to be something like this, minus 1 into minus 12. That will give us positive 12. That means this tells you that the two terms that we need to get, or split this one, that needs to be negative. Okay, both the terms need to be negative. So this is ruled out, because then minus 12 and minus 1 and minus 12 will give us minus 13. So both these are ruled out. Whether it is 1 into 12 or 12 into 1, it comes to the same thing, that is minus 13. No. What about this? Minus 2 into minus 6 will give us plus 12, but minus 2 and minus 6 when added will give us minus 8. So both these are also ruled out. What about this? Okay, so if we have minus 3 into minus 4, it will give us positive 12. Okay, so good. And what about minus 3 added to minus 4? This will give us minus 7. So it fulfills both our criteria. Now we are getting our middle term as minus 7, and the product of the first and the last term is also coming to positive 12. So it doesn't matter whether you take minus 3 or minus 4, it comes to the same, because both the signs are the same. So we've got our middle terms. Now how do we write the middle term? Okay, here is this part. Now about writing this part, we write this as equal to 12x square. We keep the first term and we keep the last term the way it is. Okay, now both comes the same, as in whether we write minus 3x, minus 4x, or minus 4x and minus 3x comes the same. But can we put anything anywhere? Yes, we can. But if you have a look, which one should we put? Always try to put the one that multiplies with either one of them. That means if we can take something common, we can get common multiples. Now if we take 3 also, 4 also, we'll get something common with 12. So in this case it doesn't matter. We will look at another example where I'll show you that it is good to match the terms with the first term or the last term in such a way that we get something common. And I'll tell you why we have to get something common over here. Let's say we take minus 3x and minus 4x. So we take minus 3x here and minus 4x. So that comes to, if you add them up, it comes to minus 7x. Now next step is to take something common between the two and something common between the two. Okay, is there something common between the two? Yes. See, 3 is common between the two. Okay, 3 1s are 3, 3 4s are 12. So we take 3 out. Anything else common? Yes, x. We can take one x common because this x and x square. So if we take 3x out, what are we left with? Over here we are left with 4x. If you multiply over here, you will get the answer. 3x into 4x gives us 12x square. See, and over here, what are we left with? If we have taken 3x already out, which is here, we are just left with 1, and it will be minus 1 because of this sign over here. Over here, now what we need to do is, here also in the second part, we need to get a common term just like this. If we have got 4x minus 1, we have to get 4x minus 1 over there as well. But this is minus 4x plus 1. We need 4x, where 4 is positive and 1 is negative. So what we do, there is a negative sign here, we take that negative side common. If we do that, this will become positive and this will become negative. So what comes here? You can put 1 over here, because 1 into 4x minus 1 will be 4x minus 1 itself. Okay. Then what we do is we take out something common now between the two, that is between this term and this term. Okay, between this and between this. And what is common between the two? 4x minus 1. We write that separately. If we take that common, what are we left with? We are left with 3x over here and we are left with minus 1 over here. So now these are your factors. These are your factors of 12 of this polynomial, 12x square minus 7x minus plus 1. If you have a doubt, you can always check back again, multiply this 2. If we multiply, let's see what we get. Okay, 3x minus 1. Multiplication, multiply 4x with this entire bracket and multiply minus 1 with this entire bracket and see what we get. So we'll get something 4x into 3x minus 1. Take the minus 1 over here and 3x minus 1. So we are actually going reverse step. Look at this. It's going back. 4x into 3x gives us 12x square. 4x into minus 1 gives us 4x. Minus 1 into minus 3x gives us minus 3x. Minus 1 into minus 1 gives us plus 1. This will become 12x square. Minus 4x minus 3x gives us minus 7x plus 1. We've got back the polynomial. So this is just a reverse step of this. Okay. Now you don't have to do this every time you solve or factorize by splitting the middle term. This is just to show you that if we go reverse way, we can get this, to confirm it. But you should be confident enough to get this answer this way. Okay. We'll solve more problems on these to understand more of this. The important part is that we need to factorize, get the factors of the multiples of 12 and 1. So we have done this way using prime numbers. And remember one thing, okay, where most students do this problem, minus into minus gives us positive, but minus added to minus will give us only minus. In terms of addition, it remains the same, the signs remain the same, but in terms of multiplication or in terms of division, like say minus divided by minus will give us positive. Okay, but when it comes to addition, the sign will remain the same. Also, another point to remember is when we subtract, let's say we have minus 6 plus 3, answer doesn't come 3 because you're trying to do 6 minus 3, but this is not 6 minus 3, this is minus 6 plus 3. We have to take the sign of the greater number. The greater number is 6, which means the sign should come minus 3. Got it? So few points to remember, and we'll solve more problems to understand the factorization, how we do it by splitting the middle term. Let's solve another problem. Next problem is 2x square plus 7x plus 3. Okay, so once again we begin by multiplying the coefficient of x square into the constant. So that will get 2 into 3, we get equal to 6. Now we have to get the multiples of 6. As in, how we will, by multiplying two numbers, how can we get 6? We get 2 into 3, we can get 3 into 2 as well, equal to 6. Then we can get 6 into 1 and 1 into 6. Okay, and there's no other way you can get 6. So now what we need, there is plus sign over here, there's plus sign over here, which means that the two terms that you will get will be plus. So 2 plus 3, if we take 2 into 3 equal to 6, 2 plus 3 gives us 5. So both these can be ruled out because 3 plus 2 and 2 plus 3 gives us 5. What about 6 into 1? It is giving us 7, or 1 into 6 is the same. So we'll take 6 plus 1 over here. So we say 2x square plus 6x plus 1x plus 3. We can just leave it at x also, or you can put 1x. Now we'll see for what is common between the two, what is common between the two over here. Here 2 is common because 2 1s are 2, 2 3s are 6, and there is an x common that we can take out because there is an x over here and there is an x square over here. So we take x over here. Here we are left with, if we take 2x, there is only x left over here, and if we take over here 2x into 3, so we left with 3 over here because x is common, and between 2 and 6 there is 3 common. So the 2 into 3 gives us 6, so that's why it is this way. Here we can't take anything common, so we just write 1 into x plus 3, which will give us x plus 3 again. Now we look for what is common between the two. These two terms are common, so we put x plus 3 and then we write whatever is left in the next bracket, that is the remaining bracket. So 2x and plus 1. So these are the factors of your quadratic polynomial. Okay, let's solve another one. Next problem is 6x square plus 5x minus 6. We multiply the first and the last term along with the signs. We'll get 6 into minus 6, which will give us minus 36. Okay, now the negative sign over here and the positive sign over here tells you that the number that we are getting in between has to be a difference. That means something has to subtract. Two terms are getting subtracted, and the positive sign of the middle term tells you that the sign of the greater number has got to be positive. Remember, when the sign is negative in the constant, that means in between it's surely going to be a difference between the two numbers or between the two terms that you are going to get by splitting. And the sign over here dictates or tells you or informs you the sign of the greater number when you are trying to find out the two numbers. Like for example 36. Now which are the multiples of 36? You can either directly list it out since we know the table, or we can factorize and find out. For example, if you try to find out using factorization, okay, 36, okay, always use prime numbers. So 2 into 18, 2 into 9, 3 into 3, 3 ones are 3. So we get, we list this out as 2 into 2 into 3 into 3. Now we can find out how we get different combinations. So we can get 2 into the remaining, which will be 2 into 3 is 6, 6 into 3 is 18. So 2 into 18 or 18 into 2. Okay, but the difference between the two comes to 18 minus 2 or 2 minus 18 comes to 16 or minus 16. We need only plus 5. So what I'll do is, now I'll take the 2 with this 2. Okay, the combination 2 into 2 is 4, 4 into 9 or 9 into 4 we can do. So if we take positive 4 minus 9 or positive 9 minus 4, we'll get minus 36. Okay, and we are getting the difference is 5. Now we need positive 5, and for that positive 5 the sign of the greater number has got to be positive. So which is plus 9 into minus 4. So plus 9 into minus 4 will give us positive 5, whereas minus 9 and plus 4 will give us minus 5. So plus 9 and minus 4 gives us positive 5. So this is what we need. Okay, so that is what we are going to use over here. So equal to 6x square positive 9. Now as I told you for the first video, I'll explain to you how to take the terms. Now we have got 9 and we've got 4 over here. Now both 9 and 4 will go because we'll get something common between the two. Okay, but in this case always try to take the first term this way, 9x minus 4x, and we'll go with 6 over here. So take the positive sign first and the negative sign later on, or you can take something that is common between the two. For example, 6 and 9 both are multiples of 3, and 4 and 6 are multiples of 2, whereas if we could have taken it with that with 9x with minus 6 also, but we'll go this way. What is common between the two, what is common with the two is what we need to find out. So between 6 and 9, 3 is common, and between x square and x is common. So we will be left with just 2x over here since we are taking 3x, and here we will be left with only 3 because x is already taken out as common. Now we need to get 2x plus 3 again common in this term. So for that, now we see that both are negative over here, but negative sign can be taken out as common between the two. So both will become positive. And between 4 and 6, 2 is common. That's all. There's no x over here, so we can't take x common. So we are left with, if we take minus and 2 common between the two, that means only we are left with only 2x. And here, since we've taken minus out and 2 out from here, we are left with plus 3. Write down what we have common first, 2x plus 3. And then what we are left with, 3x minus 2. So these are our factors of this polynomial. Okay. Let's take one last one. So our last problem says 3x square minus x minus 4. Once again we multiply the coefficient of x square with the last term of the constant. So 3 into minus 4. Okay, so 3 into minus 4 gives us minus 12. So once again the minus sign at in the constant tells you that the two terms that you are going to get difference are going to have a subtraction operation, so a difference between the two. And the negative side of the middle term is going to is telling you that the sign of the greater number between the two terms is going to be negative. So let us have a look. So 3 into 4 gives us minus 12. Now the difference between the two numbers has to be only 1. That is why we have only minus x over here. So we don't have to go any further, because over here we are getting 3 into minus 4 gives us minus 12, which is the product we need. And 3 minus 4 will give us minus 1, which is what we need. So what we do is 3x square plus 3x minus 4x minus 4. So we take 3x common between the two. We are left with just x over here and plus 1 over here. Here we take the minus sign, which is common to both, and we take 4, which is common to both. We are left with x plus 1 again. So take what is common first, x plus 1, and we write down what is left, which is 3x and minus 4. Okay. So I hope you have understood how to factorize by splitting the middle term. If you like this video, click on the like button. Do not forget to share it with your friends and classmates. Subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon to be notified when a new video is posted. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.